Hey everyone, this is Pam Stoyer with the School Age Childcare Programs. Wanted to do a very quick instruction video on how to complete your timesheet and include some tips and tricks and strategies to make this as seamless as possible for you. When you start with the School Age Childcare Programs, you should get instructions on accessing and completing your timesheet. So when you get this, you're going to go to this link here on the bottom. And when you click on the link, it will ask you if you'd like to make a copy of the document. So just click on Make a Copy. And that will open up your timesheet and it will be in your drive. Okay, now I'm going to rename mine. So we're going to call this Timesheet for Training. And so now I have my timesheet. So you could put your name on this, whatever you want to call it. This is actually, it comes up on the screen a little too big for my preferences, so we're going to make this a little smaller, especially for the purposes of this video so that you can see the whole timesheet. Okay. So this top part, it's really important that you complete the whole thing. So we're going to put our name in. And I apologize if you can hear the keystrokes in the background. Our employee ID, that can be found on your name badge. It can also be found on your pay stub, and if you're not sure, you can always reach out to Beth McDaniel or myself to figure out what your employee ID number is. Position worked, building worked. If you are a sub, you do not need to fill this in because you're going to have different buildings all the time. But if you have a regular assigned site, there's a little arrow over here. You can click to pop your building in, and then your supervisor goes in this box. Okay, and on the right-hand side, this pay period start date is really important because what that does is it actually populates the pay dates over here by the days of the week. So if we use today, for example, see how it automatically popped up down here. So then you can make sure that your dates are lining up with the actual days that you worked. Okay, so for a typical day for a program assistant, you're going to just type in your hours. You do need to put AM or PM because the timesheet doesn't know how to determine between those two. So you have to put that you started at 7 o'clock AM and worked until 8:30 AM. And then see that totals up to 1.5 hours. Okay. Then in the afternoon, you come back in at 3 o'clock p.m. and you leave at 5:30 p.m. Okay, so then that's your other 2.5 hours for a total of 4 hours. Now, if you are taking some time off sick, so you're out sick for the day, this additional hours column is where you put those hours in. So you don't need to put your actual times since you're not actually on site working, but your additional hours, you're going to put in the hours that you worked. And then under this explanation column, you're just going to put that you worked you took 4 hours of sick leave out of a total of 4 hours in the day. So that's what that 4 over 4 means, that you use 4 hours of benefit time over 4 hours total in the day. And then just type in sick leave. Same thing if you were going to use a personal day, you've got 4 hours there. And then you would do 4 over 4 personal. Holiday is also the same. So you would use 4 and you would get holiday pay. Let's see, this came up on a Saturday, which wouldn't be a holiday, so make sure you're putting them on the correct day. We're not working on the weekends, so we would put the 4 over 4 holiday over here. Okay. Now, the only other thing I want to show you is what to do if for example, you take a partial day. So, for example, if you have an appointment in the morning, and so you don't come into your site in the morning, but you do come into the site in the afternoon. You've got 2.5 hours. So you've got another 1.5 to get you up to the 4. And that's, you round up, so that's 2/2 of sick leave. So it's a half a day. Okay. All right. And also, if we do happen to close due to inclement weather, we record that just as you would a holiday, only in the holiday, the explanation column, you would put that it is a snow day. 2-hour delay days, we operate the same time in the mornings, just 2 hours later than we would if we were opening as usual. Okay, so the last thing you want to do is check and make sure that everything is adding up correctly. So if all of these hours are correct, so these need to be correct, your total additional hours need to be correct, and then it should total up to your maximum hours per week. Okay, so for a program assistant, typically it's 20. You also want to make sure that it totals correctly down here on this total for all hours worked. The big, most important thing I want you to remember from this is do not type over or delete any of the items in these purple columns. Okay, all of these purple columns contain formulas, and the formulas are calculating your hours and adding everything up for you. And so if one of those gets deleted or changed or typed over, it's not going to work correctly, and you are at risk for like missing something where your hours are not adding up correctly, and you might not get paid for the hours that you're due to get paid for. So please, every time, just make sure there wasn't some sort of accident and you didn't accidentally mess up a formula. Make sure that your hours are adding up to what they should be adding up to. If you do find that there's an error in your timesheet, you can always go back to that instruction page that you received and click on the link and make another copy. So if you make another copy of this document, it will have all the formulas correct and everything again, and you can kind of start fresh. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is signatures. So a few years ago, the Board of Education decided to accept electronic signatures. At this point, they do accept if you type in your signature. So this has been acceptable up to this point. I don't know how much longer that's going to be acceptable. There is a better way to do this, and so I just wanted to take a moment and share how to do that. So what you do once you've got your timesheet and it's all correct and you got the hours in there correct, you go to File and download a PDF. Okay. Now it'll take you to this window. You want to double check your settings. For example, landscape's going to look a little strange, so make sure it's on portrait. I like fit to page. And then in the margins, I also like to set the margins to narrow instead of normal. Usually it will default to normal, but narrow makes it a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to read. And then you're going to hit export. Now, depending on the computer you're using, it might pop up a window and ask you where you want to save it, or some computers have it defaulted to download this into your downloads folder. So in mine, I'm going to save it to my desktop. If yours automatically sends to the download folder, you'll want to open your download folder to get your timesheet out. So now I'm going to open the timesheet, and there's everything that we entered in. Okay, and now we want to add our signature. So this little pencil button up at the top will bring up your editing toolbar, and this looks like a signature. So if you click on this, yours probably won't have this yet, but you can go to Create Signature, and you have two options. There's a trackpad and a camera option. Now the trackpad option is where you'll use your trackpad or your mouse, if you have a mouse, to create your signature. Okay, so that's one option. The other option, the one I think looks a little bit better, is to use your camera. And to do this, you'll see what it says, sign your name on the white paper and hold it visible to the camera. So you sign your name nice and big on a white piece of paper and use like a Sharpie or a really dark pen, so that you can get your signature nice and big. And then you're going to hold up your signature and bring it close to the camera. I'm going to clear this so it gets my face out of there. There we go. Hold it close to the camera. Okay. And then now, when you go to the little signature line, there's your signature. And you can move it, you can make it larger, you can make it smaller. And then you go to File and Save. And I'll open that back up so you can see it saved everything. There we go. Now all you have to do is drop that into an email and send it to your supervisor, so that they can review it and send it on to Beth or I for submission so that you can get paid. If you have any questions or need any advice or suggestions on how to make this work, don't hesitate to reach out to Beth McDaniel or myself. We'd be happy to help you. And I think that's it. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.